Sleep isn't just rest, it's recovery. It's the quiet miracle that allows our minds to reset and our bodies to heal. But as we age, restful sleep can become more elusive. Whether it's waking up too early, tossing and turning through the night, or feeling drowsy during the day, many older adults find sleep slipping through their fingers. Fortunately, nature offers gentle, time-honored remedies. The right foods, simple, natural, and familiar, can help calm the nervous system, balance hormones, and ease the body into deeper, more restorative rest. Let's explore 5 natural foods that can help you sleep better, one nourishing bite at a time. 1. Tart cherries, nature's sleep enhancer. Imagine a small fruit, deep red and a bit tart on the tongue, holding the power to nudge you gently into sleep. Tart cherries, or more specifically, the juice pressed from them, have become one of nature's most quietly powerful allies in the search for better rest. But how does something so simple make such a difference, especially in our later years? Tart cherries are one of the few natural sources of melatonin, the hormone your body produces to regulate the sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin is like your body's internal clock keeper. As evening approaches, your brain increases melatonin production to help you wind down. However, as we age, our natural melatonin levels often decline, making it harder to fall and stay asleep. That's where tart cherries come in. In a study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food, older adults who drank tart cherry juice twice a day for 2 weeks reported longer sleep time and improved sleep efficiency compared to those given a placebo. This wasn't a sedative effect. It wasn't about knocking people out. It was about gently guiding the body back into its own natural rhythm, something that artificial solutions often overlook. But melatonin isn't the only compound at work here. Tart cherries are also rich in tryptophan, an amino acid that helps the body produce serotonin, which in turn supports melatonin production. In other words, tart cherries don't just drop melatonin into your system, they help your body remember how to make its own. What makes tart cherry juice especially helpful is that it doesn't require you to change your entire routine. There's no complicated recipe or difficult preparation. A small glass in the evening, ideally about an hour or 2 before bedtime, can be enough. Some people enjoy mixing it with warm water, turning it into a soothing tea-like drink. Others simply sip it cold, letting the tartness signal that it's time to start winding down. Of course, like all natural approaches, it's not about instant results. The magic lies in consistency. Over time, regular consumption of tart cherries can help reinforce your body's ability to fall asleep on its own without relying on medication. And because it's food, not a drug, it comes with benefits beyond sleep. Tart cherries are loaded with antioxidants, especially anthocyanins, which help reduce inflammation, a common cause of nighttime discomfort for aging joints and muscles. That reduction in inflammation plays a bigger role than most people realize. For many older adults, poor sleep isn't just about restlessness, it's about discomfort. Stiff knees, aching hips, that dull ache that wakes you up when you try to turn over in bed. Tart cherries, through their natural anti-inflammatory properties, help quiet the body so the mind can settle too. Still, it's important to choose the right form. Not all cherry juices are created equal. Look for unsweetened tart cherry juice, not the sweeter varieties meant for general snacking. You'll find it in the health food aisle of most grocery stores or at natural food markets. A typical serving is about 8 ounces, and some people find even half that amount helpful. If you're sensitive to sugars or watching your calorie intake, try tart cherry concentrate. You can dilute a tablespoon or 2 in water and get the same benefits with fewer sugars. Think of tart cherry juice as part of a gentle bedtime ritual. You might enjoy it while reading a book, listening to quiet music, or simply sitting outside watching the sky darken. It's less about the cherry itself and more about what it represents, choosing to treat your sleep as something sacred, something worth nurturing. In a world that constantly pushes us to do more, even into the evening hours, tart cherries remind us of the power of slowing down, of giving the body what it quietly asks for. And as we grow older, sleep is not a luxury, it is an act of self-care, of healing, of choosing to keep living with intention. So if you're struggling to find the restful nights you once knew, start small. Pour a glass. Sip slowly. And let nature do what it's done for generations, guide you gently to sleep. 2. Almonds, a tiny nut with powerful sleep benefits. Picture yourself sitting quietly in the evening, a small handful of almonds resting in your palm. They're unassuming light brown, slightly crunchy, earthy in flavor, but within these tiny morsels lies a blend of natural compounds that your body quietly craves, especially as the sun sets and the world slows down. Almonds are more than just a snack. They are one of the most sleep-supportive foods nature has to offer, packed with essential nutrients that the body uses to ease into restful, uninterrupted slumber. What makes almonds so powerful for sleep isn't just one ingredient. It's the beautiful combination of many working together in harmony. Let's start with magnesium. As we age, our magnesium levels tend to decrease, especially if we're under stress or dealing with inflammation. And magnesium isn't just good for you, it plays a direct and measurable role in sleep quality. This vital mineral helps calm the nervous system, reduce muscle tension, and regulate the hormone melatonin. Think of it as the body's natural relaxant, preparing your muscles, mind, and mood for rest. In fact, a clinical study published in the journal Magnesium Research showed that older adults who supplemented with magnesium experienced longer sleep time, better sleep efficiency, and fewer early morning awakenings. Almonds provide this mineral in a gentle, food-based form, so your body recognizes and absorbs it with ease. But that's just the beginning. Almonds also contain tryptophan, the same amino acid found in tart cherries. When tryptophan enters the body, it helps produce serotonin, which in turn supports melatonin levels. This chain reaction is the body's natural way of inviting sleep. And by eating tryptophan-rich foods like almonds, you're helping support this process naturally. There's also something deeply grounding about the act of eating almonds. A small serving, just 8 to 10 nuts, is enough to provide benefits without overloading the digestive system. For older adults who struggle with late-night cravings or waking up hungry in the early morning hours, almonds can be a gentle solution. They provide protein and healthy fats, both of which help stabilize blood sugar levels through the night. Why does that matter? Because blood sugar fluctuations can interrupt sleep, especially for those with insulin resistance or prediabetes, which becomes more common with age. A sudden drop in blood sugar can cause cortisol to spike, waking you up in the middle of the night. By having a few almonds in the evening, you help buffer your system, creating a steadier, more restful internal environment. And then there's vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant found in almonds that supports brain health and may reduce oxidative stress. Sleep is when the brain performs its deepest housekeeping, clearing out toxins and reinforcing memory. By nourishing the brain with vitamin E, you're giving it what it needs to do its work more efficiently. Now, how do you use almonds to help with sleep? The key, as with most natural remedies, is simplicity and consistency. There's no need to roast or flavor them. In fact, raw or lightly dry roasted almonds are best. You can enjoy them on their own, pair them with a small piece of banana or apple, or sprinkle them over a small bowl of unsweetened yogurt in the evening. If chewing is difficult, almond butter is a wonderful alternative. A teaspoon stirred into a warm drink or spread on a slice of whole grain toast can offer the same sleep-supporting nutrients in a softer form. Just make sure the almond butter is natural, free of added sugars or hydrogenated oils. There's also the ritual of it all. When you create a gentle, nourishing evening routine that includes almonds, you're doing more than feeding your body, you're signaling to your brain that it's time to rest. That moment of mindful eating, paired with dim lights and calm surroundings, helps transition you from the busy energy of the day to the peaceful rhythm of the night. Almonds are not a cure-all, but they are a quiet, consistent ally in the larger picture of sleep hygiene, part of a gentle approach to aging that respects the body's needs and rhythms. They require no prescription, no preparation beyond opening a jar or bag, and yet they offer so much. In a world filled with quick fixes and artificial solutions, almonds remind us that sometimes the simplest choices are the most powerful. A handful in the evening, a few minutes of quiet, and the steady return of sleep that doesn't just restore the body but renews the soul. 3. Chamomile, the ancient flower that calms the mind and body. Some remedies don't shout, they whisper. They don't jolt you into sleep, they guide you softly and steadily into rest. Chamomile is one of those remedies. A daisy-like flower with pale petals and a golden heart, chamomile has been used for centuries as a natural sleep aid. And today it remains one of the gentlest, safest, and most effective ways to ease the mind before bedtime. You may already be familiar with chamomile tea, perhaps you've sipped it on a restless night or after a stressful day. But there's more to this flower than meets the eye. It doesn't work like a sedative. Instead, it gently interacts with the body's nervous system, calming it down in preparation for sleep. It helps turn down the noise, both external and internal, and invites the body to unwind. What makes chamomile so effective is a compound called apigenin, a natural antioxidant that binds to specific receptors in your brain. These receptors are associated with reducing anxiety and promoting sleepiness. Unlike many pharmaceutical sleep aids, chamomile doesn't force the brain into sleep. It simply encourages relaxation. It softens the tension that builds throughout the day, tension that, left unchecked, becomes a barrier to rest. In one study published in Phytomedicine, participants who took chamomile extract twice daily for 28 days reported significantly improved sleep quality and fewer nighttime awakenings compared to those who didn't. Another study focusing on older adults found that regular consumption of chamomile tea led to measurable improvements in sleep patterns and overall well-being. But chamomile's power isn't limited to what it does biologically. Much of its benefit comes from the ritual itself. The act of preparing a warm cup of tea, sitting quietly, and giving yourself permission to slow down. In many ways, it's not just the flower, it's the moment. That calm, mindful space you create around your evening cup can be as healing as the herb itself. For older adults, chamomile offers something even more precious: predictability without side effects. It doesn't disrupt your natural sleep architecture. It doesn't leave you groggy in the morning. It simply prepares you, naturally and gently, for a better night's rest. And because it's caffeine-free, you can drink it without worry even if bedtime is still an hour or two away. To make the most of chamomile's benefits, consistency is key. Drink 1 cup about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Steep the tea for at least 5 minutes, longer if you prefer a stronger flavor. Some people like to add a touch of honey, which brings its own calming properties and enhances the flavor without disrupting sleep. Others enjoy pairing chamomile with a hint of lavender or lemon balm for added relaxation. If you have trouble sleeping through the night due to digestive discomfort, a common issue as we age, chamomile may offer additional relief. It has natural anti-inflammatory and antispasmodic properties, which can help ease bloating, indigestion, and minor aches that often interfere with sleep. Think of it as a dual-purpose tonic, calming for the mind and soothing for the body. There are a few gentle reminders to keep in mind. If you have allergies to plants in the daisy family, like ragweed, marigolds, or chrysanthemums, you may want to consult your doctor before trying chamomile. And if you're taking medications, particularly blood thinners, it's wise to double-check for interactions, as chamomile has mild blood-thinning effects. But for the vast majority of people, chamomile is safe, nurturing, and profoundly calming. It invites you to let go of tension, of worry, of the day's heaviness. It reminds you that rest isn't earned through exhaustion, it's a birthright. A necessary rhythm, especially in our later years, when restoration becomes as vital as activity. Chamomile doesn't fix every sleep problem, but it helps create the conditions where sleep can return naturally. It is a gentle companion, especially suited to those who want to avoid medications and instead listen to the wisdom of the body. So the next time the night feels long or your thoughts won't quiet down, reach for chamomile. Let it warm your hands. Let its scent slow your breath. Let its quiet strength remind you, sleep is near and all is well. 4. Bananas, the bedtime fruit that soothes from the inside out. Sometimes the most powerful remedies are also the most familiar. You've likely eaten bananas your entire life in a morning bowl of oatmeal, sliced into cereal, or grabbed on the go. But what many don't realize is that this everyday fruit can be a remarkably effective sleep aid, especially for those in their later years. Gentle on the stomach, naturally sweet, and packed with sleep-supportive nutrients, bananas are more than a quick snack. They are, quite literally, sleep in a peel. Let's begin with potassium. As we age, our bodies often begin to lose more potassium than they used to, through certain medications, diet shifts, or simply the aging process itself. This mineral plays a key role in regulating muscle function and nerve signals. And when levels are too low, it can lead to nighttime leg cramps, restlessness, and frequent awakenings. A medium banana contains roughly 400 milligrams of potassium, enough to help relax the muscles and ease tension in the body. But potassium doesn't work alone. Bananas are also rich in magnesium, another key mineral that calms the nervous system and promotes a deeper, more restful sleep. Magnesium supports the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of the brain responsible for rest and digest. Together, potassium and magnesium make a powerful pair, one relaxing the muscles, the other calming the mind. It's a combination that helps prepare both the body and brain for a peaceful night. And then there's tryptophan, that familiar sleep-promoting amino acid. While tryptophan is found in many foods, bananas offer a unique advantage. They contain both tryptophan and carbohydrates, and this is key. The natural sugars and starches in bananas help transport tryptophan into the brain, where it's converted into serotonin, and later melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. In simple terms, bananas help set the stage for the body's natural sleep hormones to rise. For older adults, especially those who find themselves waking too early or struggling to fall asleep altogether, bananas offer another advantage. They help regulate blood sugar levels through the night. A steady blood sugar curve means fewer spikes in adrenaline or cortisol, hormones that can jolt you awake in the middle of a dream or leave you restless in the early hours of the morning. What makes bananas particularly accessible is how easy they are to incorporate into an evening routine. No prep, no cleanup. You can enjoy one on its own about 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime, or pair it with a few almonds or a teaspoon of almond butter for an extra boost of healthy fats and protein. This simple combination, banana and nuts, is a natural, satisfying way to calm the body and satisfy late-night cravings without disrupting digestion or sleep. Some people even create a warm banana tea by boiling a sliced banana, peel and all, in water for about 10 minutes, then drinking the strained liquid before bed. The peel contains additional magnesium and potassium, and while the taste is mild, it creates a soothing ritual that many find comforting. Bananas are also incredibly digestible, which is important for older adults who may struggle with heavier meals or late-night snacks that cause indigestion. Their soft texture and gentle fiber content make them easy on the stomach, supporting regular digestion and helping prevent discomfort that might otherwise interfere with sleep. Of course, bananas are not a magic cure. They don't sedate. They don't override poor sleep hygiene or chronic conditions. But what they offer is support. Quiet, nutritional support that aligns with the rhythms your body already wants to follow. They help you transition gently from wakefulness to rest. They are also mood boosters. The serotonin supported by bananas doesn't just help with sleep. It helps with emotional regulation. And for many older adults, the nighttime hours can bring with them loneliness, worry, or rumination. By supporting serotonin production, bananas offer more than just physical rest. They offer emotional ease. And isn't that what we really need at bedtime? Not just the absence of wakefulness, but the presence of peace. So if you find yourself pacing the kitchen, unsure what might help you sleep, or perhaps tempted to reach for something processed, consider the banana. Familiar, humble, gentle, a fruit you've known all your life, now ready to support you in a new way. Sleep is not a battle to win, but a state to invite. And sometimes that invitation begins with something as simple as a piece of fruit, eaten slowly with intention as the day winds down. 5. Oats, the evening grain that comforts and calms. There's something deeply soothing about a warm bowl of oats. Perhaps it's the way they soften in the pot, the gentle steam that rises as you stir, or the quiet comfort they bring to the end of a long day. But oats are more than just a hearty breakfast food. They're one of the most underestimated natural sleep aids you can bring into your nighttime routine. Oats support sleep in several interconnected ways, making them an ideal food for older adults who want to improve rest without turning to medication. First and foremost, oats are a natural source of melatonin, the very hormone that governs your body's internal clock. When melatonin levels rise in the evening, the body begins to relax, temperature drops slightly, and the mind starts to quiet down. Eating foods rich in melatonin like oats helps reinforce that cycle, especially for those whose natural production may be waning with age. But there's more to oats than melatonin. They're also high in complex carbohydrates, and that matters more than most people realize. When you eat a small serving of oats in the evening, those slow-burning carbs help increase the availability of tryptophan in the brain, the amino acid we've seen in tart cherries, almonds, and bananas. Tryptophan is the starting point for serotonin, which eventually becomes melatonin. This entire chain relies on the presence of carbohydrates to work efficiently. Without them, tryptophan has a harder time crossing into the brain where it's needed most. In simpler terms, oats don't just offer melatonin, they create the right conditions for your body to make its own. Beyond their hormonal support, oats also provide a gentle sense of fullness. For older adults who struggle with waking up hungry or feeling unsettled in the night, this light satiety can be a blessing. A small bowl of warm oats, perhaps half a cup, cooked with water or milk, can prevent those 2 a.m. hunger pangs without weighing down the digestive system. And then there's magnesium and vitamin B6, both present in oats and both known for their role in promoting relaxation and nervous system health. Magnesium, as we've explored, helps calm the body's stress response. B6 plays a role in converting tryptophan into serotonin. Together, they create a gentle cascade of biochemical support that encourages the body to slow down. What makes oats so accessible is their versatility. They can be prepared quickly, customized easily, and adapted to suit nearly any preference. Some people enjoy them as part of a warm evening snack, perhaps with a drizzle of honey, a dash of cinnamon, or a spoonful of almond butter for added sleep-supportive nutrients. Others prefer overnight oats, softened in the fridge with almond milk and sliced banana, ready to be eaten without any cooking at all. For those with sensitive digestion, oats offer another hidden benefit. They're rich in soluble fiber, particularly beta-glucan, which supports gut health and promotes a more stable blood sugar response. Why does that matter for sleep? Because blood sugar spikes and crashes, often caused by processed or sugary evening snacks, can trigger cortisol, the hormone that keeps you alert. Oats, on the other hand, digest slowly and steadily, giving the body the fuel it needs to rest peacefully without triggering hormonal alarms. And let's not forget the emotional comfort oats provide. In a world that often feels rushed, complicated, and overprocessed, a simple bowl of oats brings you back to something elemental, something human. The act of preparing them, of sitting with them, of warming your body and spirit before bed, becomes more than a nutritional choice. It becomes a ritual of care, a message to your body that it's safe to rest now. As with any sleep-supportive food, timing and moderation matter. A small serving, just enough to satisfy, is ideal about 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Avoid loading it with sugar, which can counteract its calming effects. Instead, opt for gentle, grounding additions, a few chopped nuts, a splash of plant-based milk, or even a pinch of nutmeg, which carries its own mild sedative properties. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to My Reboot for more calming, practical advice on living well at every stage of life.